Hey, Shalom, I want to start off source by giving all praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakar Kwadash, double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone, and honors to you brothers doing the work of the Most High in truth and in sincerity. This is a quick one. Before I start, Yahweh, that's the real name of whom the world calls God. Yahweh, Jehovah, his real name is Yahweh, Yahweh, and his son's name is Yahweh Shai, Yahweh Shai. Right. So yeah, getting into this lesson, Bo was just sharing some articles today, loads of different articles. I was just kind of thinking of like an avalanche, right? Now, trying to find a, what do you call it, a description of how avalanches begin, right? But you get the, what do you call it? It's not like the Hollywood where, someone claps and then, the whole thing starts, falling downhill. No, it's more, in the realms of, you get a little bit of movement, and then it will pick up speed, and then at the end of it, you just got this massive force. You get ones where it's a little bit, or maybe, or rather, it's just a massive slab that will just move downhill, whatever, what have you, right? But the one I was kind of thinking of was, the one that starts slow, right? Starts slow, a little bit here, a little bit there, then it speeds up and it speeds up and it snowballs and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, right? To the point where, it is a threat to life. Okay, and that is exactly what we're witnessing right now, okay? And, really it's been ongoing for a long period of time. Things have just been moving, ticking along slowly, this and the other, right? And then now we are in the realms, because even now, you could argue we're still in that slowly ticking along, because when we read the scriptures say, we always get it out. This is Daniel's 12:1. It says, and at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince which stand for the children of thy people, and there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to the same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, everyone that shall be found written in the book. So this is going into the time of trouble that we are entering into, okay? Which is why he is speeding things up, and on his part also, right? Because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. So Revelation 12:12. It says, therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. For the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. So he knows he's got a short time. And how does he know? Because he's around and he's seeing all the all of these camps popping up left, right, and center. And what does it say in the scriptures? Jeremiah 28:8 says, the prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms, of war and of evil and of pestilence. Okay, and the number one pestilence that we are prophesying against is placed on the apostles on down, right, is that ICBM nuclear missile, right? And then, in that same time, you're going to be having the chariots of Israel, coming and, getting busy themselves, right? This is Zechariah 14:12 says, and this is the plague, right? So, it says it's referred to as a plague, where the Lord Yahweh will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet, and their eyes shall consume away in their holes, right? And their tongue shall consume away in their mouth. Right now, you get certain, disease or whatever that may that may melt you. They say that's how the Ebola gets you, right? But this particular plague, it says this is all going to happen while they stand upon their feet, right? So this is going to be quick, right? And you got loads of different precepts from the ICBMs that you see: Job 20:24, Psalm 7:13, Psalm 21:9, Isaiah 9:5-6, Isaiah 13:13, 34:4, 54:16, Jeremiah 50:14, Nahum 3:3, Malachi 4:1, 2 Ezra 16:13, 2 Peter 3:10 onwards, Revelation 6:13-14, Revelation 9:16, Revelation 11:13, and that's only some of them. Okay, so you can read all of those in your leisure. Okay, that's the ultimate pestilence that that we're prophesying about, because the prophets ain't here to build, to bring a good news to this place, right? this is Matthew 24:14 also, right? It says, and this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come. Okay, and is what I say, that was you like I said, this you can depending on who you are, you can say, this, there's been snowballing for longer than this or whatever, what have you, but because that's not the point of the video, right? The point is, to put into to give an analogy, right, of an avalanche where things just snowball, start slowly, and the snowball on a, start picking up speed to the point where it just becomes destructive, right? A threat, a threat to life, right? An extinction of the event, right? Which there was a very interesting avalanche that happened in the year 1970, which those of us in the truth, 1970 is a particular kind of year. It's an important year, right, pursuant to prophecy, right? So so he says, read again, and this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come. And this word, and that's what I was trying to get to, right? One of the major things that happened, right, in July, I think possibly July of 2007, which even in that, that spiritual, that 7-7, okay, representing complete, right, which says, and then shall the end come. So that was, that's when this truth really started going global, right? And at this point, a great millstone is global, okay. You got counts popping up all over the world, and these devils are seeing that. That's why they're pushing along so many agendas all at the same time, okay. So I'll read this real quick. It's from National Geographic. It says, during an avalanche, a mass of snow, rock, ice, soil, and other materials slide down a mountainside. Avalanches of rocks or soil, rocks or soil are often called landslides. Snow slides, the most common kind of avalanche, can sweep down faster than the fastest skier, right? Which I didn't know, that I didn't recognize that what you call a landslide was referred to as an avalanche too. A snow avalanche begins when an unstable mass of snow breaks away from a slope. The snow picks up speed as it moves downhill, so it's picking up speed, just like in this thing of ours, right? The brothers in our camp that were in this before we came in. They gave examples of how, like, when they were in, you'd get an article here, an article there, an article here, an article there. Whereas now it's an article, prophetic event, signs in the heavens, this worldwide event, that, things are just happening in such great frequency now, that it's hard to follow us sometimes. It is hard to follow. Okay. So it says avalanches occur as layers in a snowpack slide off. A snowpack is simply layers of snow that build up in an area, such as the side of a mountain. In winter, repeated snowfall builds a snowpack dozens of meters thick. The layers vary in thickness and textures, right? And you can read more into that, right? So I'm just gonna jump down. This is dangers of an avalanche. I'm gonna read this here, the second paragraph. This avalanches strike suddenly and can be deadly. In 1970, a massive avalanche of rock and ice destroyed the town of Yungay, Peru, killing 18,000 people, right? And that is referred to as the 1970 Huascaran debris avalanche, right? If you just type in 1970 avalanche, you'll find it. And you basically, that particular article on Wikipedia says, it puts at 30,000 people dead. Okay. Which just shows you the power of the Lord, man. In one fell swoop, 30,000 people dead. It's the most deadly avalanche, or would you call it, most deadly avalanche or glacier-related disaster in history, right? And then the third or fourth most deadly landslide-related disaster of the 20th century, right? And then you have one which the Lord hit up in 1920 in China, or Huayan earthquake, 1920 Huayan earthquake. And now, they basically said, depending on estimates, between 200 and 273,000 people dead, right? Which just goes to show you, the Lord, man, he's much to be feared. And because the Lord hasn't brought this kind of death, right? For such a long time, people have forgotten, but it's okay. Because, once again, I read Revelation 12:12 says, therefore rejoice ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them, both the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. For the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth he hath but a short time. So he's going to start doing what he's doing with great speed in these last days. Okay, but it's okay because we have the protection of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. Well, we'll bring this one out, first one that came to mind. Right, Proverbs 18:10 says the name of Yahweh is a strong tower, the righteous runneth into it, and is safe. Right, which is why, at the beginning of the video, and what I'm trying to do more and more in my videos is, to profess the names of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua as pursuing, rather Yahweh wa Yahweh, shall we say it like that? Because Yahweh Ba Hashem, right, means in the name of, because when you pray, you have to pray. You can't pray directly to the Father. You have to pray to the Father, in the name of the Son, right, through the Son. Because at the moment, Yahweh Shai, Yahweh Shai is the mediator. Or rather, Yahushua is the mediator between, us and the Father, Yahweh, at the moment, right? So, yeah, the name of the Lord Yahweh is a strong tower, and when you read Psalms 91st chapter, for example, that is our only only way of thinking about protection in these last days, because as we have read, right, great death is coming, right? Right, avalanches and things are gonna keep getting worse and worse and worse. Here it is, people are hoping to get back to normal, but they ain't no normal to be had. This is Ezekiel 21:9. It's the Son of Man prophesy and say, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, say a sword is sharpened and also furbished, right? Which here that word furbish, one of the ways is like to polish it, to bear, to polish, make smooth, right? Where I think about that is when you hear that term, oh yeah, I'm just polishing up this beat, or I'm just polishing up this design. What does it mean? It means perfecting it, okay? And which is why here it is, Jake ain't really on doing that whole little sword. Okay, Jake ain't really doing that little sword, so guess what? He's gonna have to just find another way to try and kill off Jake, well, because we know that is ultimately his his main aim, right? Hey, he may even bring in another one that just makes attacks Jake, right? And then says, hey, hey, it's all the people that never took the first one, right? And then would you call it, then Jake will run to take the new little sword, and then they all drop dead, right? And that was as the apostles been saying, right, the main little sword that they want Jake to take, right, is the one mentioned in Revelation 13:16. Okay. So yeah, so carrying on, it says, Son of man, prophesy and say, thus saith the Lord, say a sword is sharpened and also furbished. It is sharpened to make it sore slaughter. It is furbished that it may glitter. Should we then make mirth? And this is the thing, Jake is, it's in preparation to make mirth, right? So it contemneth the rod of my son as every tree. Yeah, because here in the UK, things are, quote, opening back up, June 17th, June 21. Right, so Jake is just planning what outfits they're gonna wear. They're thinking about what clubs they're gonna go to, thinking about what they're gonna do, this and the other. Little do they know that the Lord hath hath death angels in preparation, right? And who is his slayer, which is gonna go into right? The so-called white man. He is the Edomite. Okay, yeah, you're gonna have our people in the midst of them, right? But he is the one whom the Lord hath given a great sword. It says, and he had given it to be furbished, that it may be handled. The sword is sharpened, and it is furbished to give it into the hand of the slayer. Cry and howl, Son of man, right? For it shall be upon my people, it shall be upon all the princes of Israel. Terrors by reason of the sword shall be upon my people. Smite therefore upon thy thigh. Okay. So yes, the terrors by reason of the sword shall be upon my people, because he does not like you Jakes, right? You got all of these Jakes, last year, protesting, hoping and begging for equal rights, but this man does not respect you. He does not want you as an equal. In fact, quite the contrary, he wants to destroy you, But it's okay because Yahweh's gonna have the last laugh because this is all in his plans anyway. Right, so as always, Lords, what I was edifying. Until next time, we say Shalom.